Hello, it's Anioł. Welcome to the channel. As you can see, we received the 3rd anniversary video 3 days ago, so let's watch it together. Let's see what's really going on here. From what I understand, there are some statistics here, so let's see what we can see.
A new world opened its gates. Today,
maybe we should turn on the subtitles for you.
That world stands stronger than ever, shaped by your courage, strategy, and unity. Over the past year, more than 4 million new lords joined the battlefield.
There were supposedly 4 million new lords in the last year. Maybe if we count all the farms, maybe they're calculating it that way. 4 million is quite a large number of players. Obviously, not everyone will survive until the feud season, so I suspect they included the farms. Yes, I'd think so. Still, even with the farms, it's a pretty large number, but let's have it.
Our realm now stands at 23 million warriors worldwide.
23 million overall. Yes, I don't think those are downloads. They're just accounts created, that's what I think. In terms of Google Play downloads alone, we have over 10 million, so with farms, it turns out that on average, each person who downloads this must have started one farm. Of course, not everyone starts one. Some start 10 or more. Bosnasti also seems to have a farm on every server, so now it's around 1,000.
At the height of battle,
so it could
more
be a
than
fluke.
100,000 players stood online to get.
I wonder how they calculated this peak. Was it all at once, or was it, for example, over the course of a single day? I think the peak is calculated over the course of a single day, yes, over 24 hours, but I could be wrong. I could believe that number within 24 hours. I wouldn't have believed it at one point.
Together, a living testament to the strength of this community. Across every server, banners rose and strategies evolved. The most chosen faction.
Okay, the most frequently chosen faction. I guess it would be humans, because they have mages, op mages. And the least played faction, I suspect, will still be the elves, although lately, well, we see more and more players running around with elven cavalry, but I think the elves are still the faction that's least used. That was the case in the first year, that was the case in the second year, and now we're in the 3rd year. I don't think anything has changed here. Yes, let's check.
This year was League of Order, and the rarest banner carried into battle was Spring
And the least
Wardens.
frequently chosen were the Guardians of Spring, so the elves. So everything adds up.
Throughout
Nothing
the year,
has changed.
Power shifted constantly across the battlefield. Today, we honor the current
Top 10 strongest players. Well, we don't have Nephisto here anymore. The strongest player currently has what? Almost 700 million power. The date was captured on March 10, 2026. Interesting.
top 10 lords by power. The warriors at the pinnacle.
And here's Mad Max. That's MJI. I've seen these players on the battlefield as well.
Of strength. But
obviously
dominance
not all
never
of them.
stands still. Across the past year, competition raged month by month. Here are the top 10 players by kill points from
Kill points? I wonder if they counted the donkeys here. For example, 700 kill points, that's a lot for 1 month. Well,
March 2025 to February 2026.
Fluffy has half as many kill points. He had half as many, because that's which one? 2025. Now it's obscuring the April sign. Yes, that's April, because we have an arrow here. You could say April. Now it's May. Scammerin. Well, I think NXW has already been formed, so they definitely fought something there. I don't remember many players here in June. Only Fluffy is here. Alibaba. You idiots, we have a Polish accent here. When was that? In August. Yes, August. He hit us a lot. Yes, a lot. He really hit a lot. 372 kill points, so I think our first Polish accent. Unless someone's still hiding, who's Polish and doesn't know him, so who knows? Killed Jeek, I recognize those two. I saw them somewhere on the battlefield. I don't recognize those at all. Here we have Putin in the lead. Interestingly, he has a lot of those kill points. Fluffinico, Putin again. Atina Warlin. Here's Super K, someone from YS's, probably. Fluffy Wowrose.
And the top 10 players who sacrificed the most in battle.
And here we have dead units. Yes, that's my guess. Lodechka. Jason. Scammerin, Not Steve, Red Arm, and Alibaba was there too. Jason Cameron, Alibaba, Mr. Sky showed up. Mr. Sky again, Mikami, Aristotle, Iga. Well, more of those players I recognize. Crystal seemed to be heavily targeting bastions here. M. Crimey, PSGM, Humble P, Nikki. Super K times D, Red Arm. Captain. Well, there are practically all of them in this table.
Together, all lords generated
Even
7.4 trillion kills in 1 year.
Quite a number.
And in pursuit of victory, 61.8 billion troops fell.
Those are fallen units, right? Well, let's remember that you can respawn even 95%. Well, several hundred million units definitely won't be coming home.
A testament to the cost of glory. Power may rise and fall.
Overall, those banners are so poorly done in this video.
But alliances endure.
I mean, you can tell they're from Call of Dragons, but the way they wave is so poorly done,
the top
right?
10.
Top 10 Alliance, Top 10 Alliances. When? March 10th. WB, NTS, YSS, NXW, SCL.
Alliances by power. Forces built on trust,
RFF. I don't know who that is, honestly, by name. I don't recognize the 8th by name either. I don't recognize the 9th by name. And the 4th, of course, whoa.
Strategy and unwavering coordination. Together, players helped one another more than 5 billion times.
Statistics aren't really important.
And shared 166 trillion resources.
But there were farms here, right? Farms, resource sellers, farms. It all had to be there, as you can see. I don't know the resource prices, but I think someone will surely calculate in the comments how much money it could have cost on the so-called black market if someone wanted to buy. Because generally, these resources are either resource sellers or farms. Yes, so I'm sure a tidy sum could have accumulated here.
To strengthen their allies. Because here, no victory is achieved alone. Across the realm, servers rose to legendary status. The top 5 servers by power.
The strongest servers. Here we have the top 5. Unfortunately, I don't recognize these servers by their numbers, but maybe in the edit I'll add the server tags here so we know who's who.
Stand as pillars of strength. Some have entered KVK more than any others.
Most often, everyone came to the KVK. There's not even a VP here, as you can see, because even though VP has been around since the beta, our first seasons lasted a really, really long time, and at the same time, other servers had several KVKs, while we only had one. So that's how it looks. So even though we're in the beta, there are servers that have played more KVKs than us.
10
That's
times
how it looks.
each. But one stands above the rest. Server 357.
Server 357 won the most KVKs. Could it be that YSS was farming for victories?
With
Well,
8
we'll
victories.
see. Yes, I'll definitely
These are
paste
the
it in the
battlefields
edit.
where legends were forged. Over the past year, the world witnessed war on an unprecedented scale. 3 billion marches launched.
The total number of legions sent. Well, I can believe that's the total number.
Nearly 1 billion PvP battles fought.
A lot of battles, quite a lot.
470 million Darklings vanquished.
Well, Darkings are
Over
probably not
14
very
mil-
popular. The Polish subtitles are definitely very interesting.
million fortresses conquered.
Forts here. Yes, 14 million, I think.
427 trillion resources gathered across the realm.
Quite a large number. There were still resources donated somewhere. If we find them somewhere, it turns out that 1/3 of the collected resources were donated, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Yes, almost 1/3 of the resources. Where were we here? Yes, here we have resources. So let's move on.
427 trillion resources gathered across the realm. On average, players fought, built, and strategized for 100.
Average game time, 2 hours for a typical player, I think, is possible. Yes, but definitely without farms.
11 minutes and 44 seconds every day.
So I wonder who they counted
The
here.
world expanded with new champions and
Oh,
companions.
that's interesting. I wonder how many champions
This
we
year
have here.
introduced 17 new
17
heroes.
for the year. No,
Bayhorn, Falgrim,
useless.
Sybil,
Pretty
Nea,
cool.
Leah Shanyen,
Kunik Op.
Marduk, Kuma, Lai Quan,
Of course.
Ireless, Flint, Yun Ming, Gromara,
Oh,
Ruby,
Pink Opna.
Kaelin, Seluna, Agnar, and Freya.
Op. No Freya, cool too. So this year has definitely changed Call of Dragons. We have Kuma here. We have Agnark. We have Ming. We have Naji. So the meta itself, the meta champions themselves, have practically changed.
The most summoned newcomer was Kuma.
Somehow, I wasn't surprised that Kuma was summoned most
Across
often.
all heroes, the most deployed
Everyone
leader
seems to
this
be
year
doing him.
was Lilia.
Lilia is the most active, probably. Well, when someone starts the game, most players probably have a Lily too, because if you buy something, you get a Lily. And everyone probably tested it, so I can believe it's the most popular hero.
And the most feared pairing on the battlefield, Gorish and Skogul.
And why are they the most terrifying pair on the battlefield here? Although it says they're the most popular pair. Maybe, possibly. Because if someone isn't in the game yet, if someone doesn't have access to newer heroes, the only sensible tank is Garashi Skogul, so maybe, possibly that's the case. But of course, the further you get into the game, the more you need to have a Lily. I personally run Kumagorsh, and it works somehow.
Companions also emerged. 6 new war pets joined the realm.
6 pets, of which I'd say, okay, 4 are playable. I haven't seen the new cavalry one being played at all. Jackal is, of course, in the garrisons. Shadow Manticore, of course, is used for Magrat. Mossy Aurochs is good for Kuma, but of course, Lizard is also good. And that Flame Manticore is cool in theory, but I know that lately people have been using more and more lizards, healing ones, of course, and sand ones, so
Shadow Manticore, Auric Warhound,
I wonder which pet was used the
Mossrock
most.
Aurochs.
Although I suspect it was either the Sand Dragon or the Blue Dragon, which is called the Fairy Dragon.
Flaming Manticore,
I think the
Wind
Fairy
Weasel,
Dragon might be.
and Bullion
Despite
Beast.
everything, people like to do DPS, and I suspect it's the Fairy
Yet
Dragon.
Sapphire Fairdrake remains the most deployed war pet.
Nothing has changed, because the Fairy Dragon was also the most popular pet last year. So, no changes here.
Overall,
Although maybe next year will bring us a change to sand lizards. It's possible that will happen, we'll see.
meanwhile, new behemoths appeared across the land. And together, you tamed 146,415 of them. The battlefield extends far beyond the
It looks a bit like South America, huh?
game itself. Our community now spans the world with close to 500,000 followers across social media.
Those stats are
Creators
true,
across
definitely.
every region continue to inspire hundreds of thousands of warriors. With the launch of the Bonfire program this year, our community came together.
I wonder what's in those boxes. Artifact set. Maybe some artifacts.
Beyond the digital world. Across 4 cities, 9 gatherings brought over 200 lords together to connect, share their journey, and celebrate. 3 years, endless fights, one community. Thank you for shaping this world with us. Raise your banners high and let's soar into the future.
The ending. I see there's an ending. So yeah. What did we learn? Cool stats for me are, of course, the most popular faction, the most popular pet, for example. These are definitely cool stats that interest me. 17 new heroes. That was cool too. 7 new pets, or maybe 6. 6 new pets. The most frequently played pair, the most frequently summoned new hero. So, you see, even though it's relatively new, it's the most frequently played, which I don't think surprises anyone. And that's all of the interesting stuff that interests me. And there was also the question of which kingdom has the most wins. Let's check it out live. 357. Yes, the most wins. Let's check it out. It's on server 357, so we're checking it out. Let's check it out on home kingdom. We won't have to search around the map. Wise YS's is the server that has won the most times. But you know, they won on G3, I think, and when they came to G2, well, that's the first challenge. Yes, the first challenge. And I think they're losing there, from what I remember. They even fight, so let's check it out, make sure we're not spreading misinformation. YSS is far from the dragon. It's definitely far from the dragon. Someone probably came there to beat the farms. Well, there's no YSS next to the dragon, so I guess it's the first defeat. We'll see how they handle it. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I know we had a short break from videos, but we'll get back to them. Especially since, as you can see, KVK is over. Now all we have left is to do some cleaning, some events. Those who haven't finished their donkeys, well, they're finishing their donkeys. People still have time to get 12 million merits for another amber. Of course, I've already completed all the personal and individual tasks, and we'll go get the emblem too. So that's how it all goes. There will be a separate video about KVK itself, about some rankings, not rankings, about thoughts. So, thanks again for watching. Until next time,